Good morning. Welcome to day number 3 of Awaken Your Confidence. I'm Christi Garner, a women's self-empowerment coach. Today we are talking about story number 2. We went over the first day. We talked about what keeps you from being confident. We talked about other things that nourish you and ways that you have joy in your life. So if you haven't done day 1, go and find it in the PDF section or sign up below to grab the emails or shoot me a message and I'll give you the PDF. The second day, we went over the first story, which is about money. And today we're going to go over story number 2, which is about time. So story number 2 is, how am I falling behind? How am I falling behind? So let's talk more about this story. How are you falling into the shoulds? I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or I should be better at, I should be going to the gym, I should be cooking my healthy meals, I should be looking like so-and-so, my business should be here, my kids should be looking this way, right? So falling behind, story about time, about if you have enough time to do all the things that you want to be doing or could be doing. Are you being enough? Are you having enough? Are you doing enough? So think of all the shoulds. Write down all the shoulds, right? In this little handout that I gave you, just write down all the things that you feel like you should be doing. Brain dump. So one of the things about this story, how am I falling behind, is there's always going to be someone in front of you. Always. And there's always going to be someone behind you. And it's because life is not a race. It's not a race, right? So when you get stuck in compare and despair, it's a pretty powerful place to be stuck. There's always things we should be or could be doing better. There's always someone who looks better, whose health is better, whose kids seem like they're better, seems like they're happier than you, right? So the story of how am I falling behind, right? Look at how that manifests and shows up in your life. And I just want you to think about what would be different if you just didn't have this conversation anymore? What if you didn't have this conversation with yourself? What if you didn't have it with anyone else? What if everyone on social media that made you feel like shit you unfollowed? What if all of the people that are talking about things that make you feel anxious you stopped listening to, right? And I'm not saying like bury your head in the sand and don't pay attention to the bad things that are going on in the world. I'm just recognizing that if you stopped always comparing yourself to other people or always saying that you should be doing something, then it's possible you might have more room to ask yourself another question. So if the question about time is about all the things that you're doing wrong, what is the new question for you? You know, what's the question that replaces the should question? Let's think. So I should be happier. I should be happier in my relationship. Look at all my friends. They're so happy in their relationship. I don't have enough love in my relationship, right? How am I falling behind? I'm obviously behind the love train, okay? So if you don't focus on everyone else and how they're doing, right? If you say like, oh, I'm having a judgment that I'm behind, right? That's it. It's a clue or a cue, right? Okay, I'm having a judgment about something. Oh, it's about relationships. Oh, maybe I need to check out what's going on in my relationship. What is going on in my relationship? Oh, I feel like I don't have enough time with my partner. How can I get more time? Maybe it's like, oh, I don't have enough. I'm not feeling super connected to my partner. How can I have more connection? Right? So these little judgments are cues and clues to look at what's going on, but it doesn't mean that you need to sit in that story and keep running it. And then when you talk to your friends, you're like, oh my gosh, this week I just was thinking about so-and-so and how good they've got it and how happy they look and why don't I feel happy and what's wrong with me, right? That's a huge story, right? We don't have to tell that story to ourselves, and we don't have to talk about it with anyone else, because we don't want to keep going over and over and over and making a pathway in our brain that says, like, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough. Okay. So ask the question, how do I want to engage? How do I want to be with my partner? What kind of relationship do I want to have? What kind of health do I want to have? Oh, I keep noticing that my friend over there goes to the gym all the time and works out and looks better in her yoga poses than I do. She looks more comfortable in her body. I want to be more comfortable in my body. I want to have that flexibility and fluidity in my body. Oh, what do I need to do to have more of that? Oh, I feel like walking every day might give me more flexibility. Oh, okay, great. This is the way I want to engage. I want to walk more. It's not that I'm behind everyone. I focus on what is triggering me, and then I say, how do I want to engage with that in my life? Okay. How do I want to show up? I should be doing better at my job. I should be having a different job. My job sucks. Like, everyone else looks happy in their job. Okay. How do I want to show up at my job? What are the ways that I want to feel every day and be every day? Let me start talking about that. I want to show up like really alive, energized, ready for the day, excited for whatever I'm doing. How can I do that every day? Even if I'm at a job and I'm not going to leave it or not going to change, or even if I'm in a relationship and I'm not going to leave it and I'm not going to change it, I say, like, what do I love about my job or my relationship? How can I spend more time focusing on that piece? Yeah, it's making sense. How can I share my gifts? Right? Instead of how am I falling behind? How am I not doing what I need to do? It's like, how can I share these strong urges in me to, want to do something more? How can I share? How can I have an abundance? How can I engage? How can I show up? Right? So these are all good replacements for that story of how am I falling behind. So today, what I want you to do is brain dump all the ways that you're shitting yourself, all the ways that you talk about in your mind that you're falling behind, all the things you're not good enough at, you're not doing enough, you're not having enough. Just brain dump all of those things out, and then look at all of those things and be like, there's a theme, right? I don't know. Is your theme about love? Is your theme about health? Is it about parenting? Is it about your job? And then look at questions like, how do I want to show up? How do I want to engage? How do I want to share? How do I want to create an abundance of? Okay, so find out what your replacement question is. Write it down in the bottom. So it's kind of like, imagine waiting in line at the grocery store, okay? And you imagine when you're waiting in line, you're like, ugh, you get on your phone because waiting is like not good enough anymore, right? Like when you're waiting, you should be doing something else, right? I should be, sending this email. I should be at home with the kids. I should be starting dinner. I should be at the gym, okay? Waiting in line, that's just what you're doing. You're just waiting in line. So try to just start enjoying the moments and the things that are present today, okay? So brain dump, find your story, but also just sink a little bit into you're exactly where you're supposed to be doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the moment, and pay more attention to what's happening right now. Okay, this is how we unearth the story of how am I behind? How am I not enough, right? We just realize that our brain constantly thinking that we should be doing something else is an illusion. Yeah. See how much happier you get this week if you can just take a deep breath when you're in traffic or in line or your kids talking for like the 45th minute, and just take a deep breath and realize you're exactly doing what you need to be doing right now in this moment. Okay. So these are all ways to have more confidence, feel more alive, be more in your energy, align more with the things you want in your life. First, we pay attention to where we are, then we get mindful and we get present, and then we examine what are the stories we're telling ourselves all day, every day, and we start to change them so we focus on the things that we really want and we bring gratitude to the things that we have. All right. Hope that this is helpful. Drop me any questions. Let me know what story you chose to replace the How Am I Falling Behind, and have a great day. Christi Garner, self-empowerment coach on Instagram, on Facebook, and you can find me at transformyourlovestory.com. Talk to you guys tomorrow.